So in this segment, we're going to be talking about more of the problems with the Brexit deal. So we've got here Scottish fishermen sailing to Denmark to land a catch. So Scottish fishermen have resorted to sailing to Denmark to land their catch as Brexit red tape continues to delay exports, an industry body has said. The Scottish Fishermen's Federation, SFF, which campaigned to leave the EU. So irony here of, this body telling it, voting for Brexit and probably telling its members to vote for Brexit is probably humbling. It's probably very humbling for these organisations. That's the only way I can put it. And many fishermen now fear for their future. You played a big part in that, didn't you? Scottish Fishermen's Federation. Last year, the Scottish Fishermen's Federation said it was deeply aggrieved by the Brexit deal. So that was just as the deal was agreed. We know that our fisheries minister was at a nativity, so should be no help. Firms have been also warned of impending bankruptcy as delays continue at ports following the introduction of post-Brexit regulation. So I wonder how the people of Denmark feel about this one, specifically Dano. So let me know if you watch this, bro. Let me know how you feel. Desperately poor deal. On Friday, the SFF kept up pressure on the UK government in a letter to Prime Minister Boris Johnson. It said some fishermen are now making a 72-hour round trip to land fish in Denmark as the only way to guarantee their catch will make a fair price and actually finds a way to market while still fresh enough to meet customers' demands. So delays at the border are that bad that they're making a 72-hour round trip. So what's half of that? About 30 something hours? About 38 hours. So they can afford to spend 38 hours coming back from Denmark, and that's quicker than the delays at the border. That's shocking. That is absolutely shocking. The SFF said that the Brexit quotas gains can hardly be claimed as a resounding success, and that the Brexit deal actually leaves Scottish industry in a worse position on more than half of the key stocks. Because you got to remember here, certain fish that we caught pre Bojo's deal, some of that was exported out because people didn't like those kind of fish here, and then we imported things like cod and haddock, which we actually liked in this country. So this industry, that's talking about the fishing industry, now finds itself in the worst of both worlds. The reverse of Miley Cyrus's best of both worlds. Said SFF chief executive Mr. McDonald, Elspeth McDonald, accused Prime Minister Boris Johnson of broken promises. Unquote. It was like, why do you people believe this man? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Why do you listen to this guy? You know he's a liar. He's been fired for lying. This, coupled with the chaos since the 1st of January in getting fish to market, means that many of our industry now fear for the future rather than look forward to it with optimism and ambition. Ms. McDonald added, oh, sorry, it's a lady, my bad. Extreme Brexit obsession. The Scottish National Party said the letter was an utterly devastating verdict on Brexit from Scotland's fishermen industry. We know that, so here the spokesman, so this is a government spokesman, said we have now taken back control of our waters, and we have I'm sorry they didn't say borders and all that stuff as well. We have reached the EU secures 25% transfer of quotas from EU to UK vessels over 5 years, starting with 15% this year. But the thing is, right, the thing that the government are kind of spinning is the fact is catching these fish is great, but we can't sell them because they're not making it to market quick enough. That's the problem. I don't know if the British government have actually figured that out yet, or if they're just lying and hoping people don't believe them. I reckon it's the latter. But the problem isn't catching the fish. The problem is getting the fish to market, getting all the health certificates you need, and all the other checks that you need. Honestly. The spokesperson said the government was looking at providing additional financial support for Scottish fishing industry, which it recognised as facing some temporary issues. These aren't going to be temporary issues. These are going to be long-term issues because we're out of things like the customs union. And so that means regulatory checks are going to have to happen, as far as I know of. I'm pretty sure it's the customs union. That's the one that would allow us to catch things and catch things without things like health certificates. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me on that. I'm happy to be corrected on that. The Prime Minister already committed to investing 100 million in the UK's fishing industry. No, that's socialism, though, isn't it? That's socialism, propping up a failing industry. Socialism, no. And previously, government was with nearly the Scottish government with nearly 200 million to minimise disruption. But the thing is, this will help them in the short term, but long term, they're going to struggle, because they can't sell the fish to market. They can't do what their jobs are, which is catching the fish, taking them to the French border and selling them in France or other EU countries. They can't do that at the moment. So this money's great, but it's not going to solve the issue. We've got more stuff here. Scottish fishing industry deeply aggrieved by the Brexit deal. So Scotland's fishing industry have access to fewer cod, haddock, Withing, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and oh god, these fish names, and Sathi. That's wrong. It's under the new Brexit deal, according to the Scottish government. They claim it could have a knock-on effect on harbours, fish markets, and processors across the country. And the thing is, the fish we actually eat are the top two, cod and haddock. They're the two majority people eat in this country. They're the most expensive ones as well. No, not most expensive ones, but they're pretty expensive. And so what that means is that the fish that they could actually sell in this country is less, because these are the fish people typically buy. And so that means those fish would have to be exported, the ones that they can't sell here. And what's the problem with exporting the fish from the UK? People don't buy them. People don't buy them as much because they're less competitive now because of Brexit, because the fish is not going to be as fresh when it hits market. It's just bizarre, this whole thing. And if the meat industry is also screwed by this, and that's a separate video for a separate day. Specifically, a lot of people a lot of businesses within the meat industry. We've got here Dominic Raab telling absolute lies here. So we go to this interview from Andrew Marr.
Meanwhile, lots of fishermen are furious that EU boats are inside the 6 to 12 mile fishing area. And in the words of one Sunday newspaper this morning, the Scottish fishing industry in particular is drowning under red tape. Let me just read you two examples. Jamie
Do you remember when they said we'd have less red tape?
Macmillan of Lochfine Langoustines. We have no sales to the EU, our biggest market for live shellfish in the last 2 weeks. If we go another week without that, we are finished. And Donna Fordyce, who's Chief Executive of Seafood Scotland, says some businesses, which may have been run by families for generations, are now days away from collapse as a result of the agreement you have struck.
Well, I'm not convinced that that's a result of the agreement. The agreement will, sorry, Andrew, can I answer the question? The agreement we have struck, both short-term and medium-term and long-term, will create huge sustainable opportunities. Of course, we've always said as we as we leave the transition period, and with a deal, but even more if we hadn't have had it.
Yeah, apologies for this.
Even more, if we hadn't have had a deal, there will be some teething problems. We're very focused on working with all of the different sectors, including the fishing industry, to resolve any of these teething problems.
But the thing is, you can't solve these teething issues because you have to these fishermen still have to get the certificates. That's the problem. Also, there was one final clip I was going to add, which is Rees-Mogg talking absolute drivel.
The key is we've got our fish back. They're now British fish, and they're better and happier fish for it.
Obviously, there's overwhelming evidence for that. Let's enter Mansfield with...
The key is we've got our fish back. They're now British fish, and they're better and happier fish for it.
Is this the best that you Brexiteers have, honestly? Is this your best? Because if I had to stand up and say this, I would be absolutely mortified. But this man has no shame. He's the man who said that Grenfell victims had lacked common sense. And then he moved his funds to Ireland, as David Schneider points out. So, if this is the best you guys got, then you guys should have just stayed home. We've got even more bad news. So the UK government plans to raise money from hauliers by taxing them £50 an hour as they park at the government's inland border facilities while waiting for Brexit customs checks. So a number of media sources, including the Telegraph's Alan Tovey, now confirming the UK's plans to extract money from hauliers as they are forcibly delayed waiting for Brexit customs checks. So because if they don't wait for these checks, and the checks, if something goes wrong, they get turned away. So that's going to be even more expensive, depending on how long they stay here in the inland facility. There's another issue is in that the Kent access permit, the Kermit, was originally set for 24 hours. If trade goes back to pre-COVID levels, then the queues of hauliers will automatically mean drivers going over the 24-hour limit and facing further fines or taxes. So these hauliers are going to be fined essentially for the failure of the British government. In other words, a perfect storm is brewing that will impede trade even if the present situation improves. It's not clear how the UK government attempts to resolve this now without significantly reducing trade or hugely increasing infrastructure. Yahoo covering this. I see a few people claiming this is the UK government trying to stop imports. It isn't. Every truck container going to the UK to import here is an incentive to export, as logistics don't want to returning empty space. In other words, imports increases exports and vice versa. So what basically this person's saying here is that what lorry drivers don't want to be doing, or what haulage companies don't want to be doing, is coming into the UK and then dropping off the stuff that they have and then leaving the UK with nothing. And so what that means is these companies might not leave the UK with anything, decreasing exports, because they're going to be fined £50 per hour for customs checks. And even if it's just 1 hour that they're going to be checked, that's £50 extra. That's more costs that's going on these haulage companies. And what that means is exports are going to go up in price, making our export prices even less competitive. And so we've got some insight here from the great Anna Jelzeska. I can't begin to fathom why the government is planning on introducing this now. Hauliers are struggling as is. Journey is less profitable with the long delays. Paperwork is tedious. Why make this even more difficult? Absolutely 100% agree. Why the government doing this? So we've seen the fishing industry be potentially decimated by the British government. The meat industry is going to face decimation from the British government. And now exports in general are going to face decimation in general. So this is shocking from the British government. Absolutely shocking, and they're making Britain less and less competitive as things go on. I read an article recently where they were saying Rishi Sunak's been tasked to make the UK a Singapore of the Thames Senate, and I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, then prepare for your living standards to get dropped. Prepare for your work standards to get dropped. But that's a separate story for a separate day. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.